Being a watch owner is simple, right? You put it on, it tells you the time. No, it is not. Owning a watch may be simple, but being a watch owner, a watch person, is a very different story. We've got the new HMS002 and BICOMPAX 002 from Baltic here to convey what that's actually like. Perhaps a few of these may be familiar to you. Looking to buy, sell, or exchange a premium watch? Visit Watchfinder, the pre-owned watch specialist. A big thank you to every single person who watches and enjoys these videos. It really means a huge amount to us, and to me personally. Your subscription would be hugely appreciated. It helps more than you can know. Thank you. You never know what you've got till it's gone, as the saying goes, and watches are no different. Perhaps you're in a rush for work, you've lost your keys and your dog's just been sick, and after the furore, you finally settle into your commute to realise it's gone. Your watch is not there, on your wrist. Nothing but skin. Remember those dreams where you're up in front of an audience without a stitch, nothing but you and your shame for all the world to see? Like the dream, the absence of the familiar weight of your timepiece leaves you feeling naked, exposed. The almost imperceptible difference it has on your mobility is somehow as noticeable as having your hand cut off entirely. Why is that? Why does it have such a profound effect? Well, the dream is believed to be driven by guilt, perhaps, or inferiority, a fear of being exposed, but I think that's a bit much for a little flash of wrist. No, I think it's a sense of control, or rather losing it, something so normal and so familiar being out of place, and the shock of having let that happen. It's a tiny slip on the hold of reality that most of us feel we're desperately clinging onto anyway. First the watch, then, who knows, our sanity? You can be as old as you like. There will always be something new to discover on your body. Whether it's a new mole, get it checked out if it's uneven or changes shape or colour by the way, a direction you didn't know you could bend in, or just the gradual worry of ongoing deterioration, our bodies are mysterious and revealing, surprising us in ways we never thought possible. For instance, when you're not a watch person, you think very little about your wrist. It's the shaft of a broom, neither the handle nor the head. It's the bread in your sandwich, not the sauce or the filling. It's just kind of there, and it does what it does without much input. Buy a watch, however, and all that changes. You'd imagine in your head that your wrist is set up, well, a bit like a cartoon drawing of a bone, nice and symmetrical and even. That is, until you pop a watch onto it and realise that it's not. On the offside, you see, is a bony nodule that is the sworn enemy of the comfortable wristwatch. Do I wear the watch to the left or right of it? To the left and it's more like an arm watch than a wristwatch. To the right and you're Leo DiCaprio in a Tag Heuer advert. Put it directly on the bone and… ow, no, don't do that. It's a bizarre compromise all watch wearers have to make, and a decision that those who don't will never come to face. And we haven't even touched upon wearing it loose. If we wanted watches to tell the time and only tell the time, we wouldn't spend multiples of our monthly paycheck on them. The job can be done well and even better by a watch that costs as much as a bracelet adjustment does on the one you'd rather have. So why would you rather have it? Because it's nice. That's not a wholly reasonable justification for buying something with such a high cost to size ratio, price density, if you will. But what it does do is give rise to something wholly unique to the luxury watch owner: number blindness. When you wear an Apple Watch or a Casio or something practical, the process of telling the time goes something like this. You think, what's the time? You look at the time on your watch and then you know the time. This is the way the average human being operates and is well within normal parameters. Not us. No sir. We start in much the same way, almost indiscernible from your typical factory spec human, but when it comes to the looking phase, that's when it all starts to go wrong. Instead of reading the time, we look at the watch, think, nice watch, then return the watch back to position A, the original objective completely forgotten. Some might call it a curse. I call it the woman in the red dress. I would like and hope to think there aren't many of us here who've suffered any tragedies. Loss is a very difficult thing to endure, especially by oneself, and it is a testament to the power and complexity of the human condition, how overwhelming it can be. Never more has this been demonstrated than with the first scratch, whether it's a donk, ding, or whisper it, dent. The first scratch on a watch is like the scene in Bambi, where Bambi's mother dies, but only about 1 million times worse. It's more like if Bambi's mother had died, and then Bambi was made to watch her being turned into glue and dog food. It all starts with what can only be described as a genetic mutation in the balance center of the brain, the part that helps translate your stereoscopic vision into a three-dimensional image of the world science calls spatial awareness. Perhaps there's something in the chemical makeup of a watch shop receipt, because shortly after buying a watch, all sense of how big a door frame is goes out the window. You've walked it 1 million times with the grace and elegance of a true pro, until you try it with your new watch on and smack the thing straight into the only part that's made of metal. You've not experienced true tragedy until you've done that. The great thing about a mechanical watch is that it's full of bits, kind of like a Smarty McFlurry. Not only is it ice cream, the McFlurry I mean, it's also a lovely bite of candy-covered chocolate with every mouthful. It's what we all expect, but more, and that makes life worth living. Problem with bits, however, is that the more there are of them, the more there is to go wrong. A mechanical watch, this time entirely unlike a Smarty McFlurry, is a miniature powerhouse, a scaled-down engine operating at proportionally high levels of strain and therefore prone to failure. Well, not prone exactly. This is a centuries-old technology after all, but the possibility is there, however slight. The best thing to do is keep an ear out, make sure it's all sounding as it should. Problem is, sound and memory have a little bit of a habit of not playing nicely. Wind your watch up one day and did it always sound like that? Didn't it go zzzz instead of zzzz? Paranoia has never been so acute as when you're listening, breath held, to the sound of a watch movement. Chances are it's absolutely fine, if only your brain would let you stop thinking about it for just 1 second. Maybe 1 or 2, or maybe all of these little occurrences will be ringing bells with you. As a watch owner and enthusiast, it's a small price to pay for a little enjoyment that's been keeping people punctual since time immemorial. Perhaps these experiences are shared throughout history. Perhaps there are cave paintings and ancient Egyptian carvings depicting that first scratch, or the read then read again, and it would take one of us to see it. Thanks again to Baltic for letting us use their new HMS002 and BICOMPAX002 to demonstrate these moments. Perhaps one day it'll be one of these exact watches treating one of you to those very experiences. Discover more exceptional watches at Watchfinder. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please do consider giving it a like and subscribing to the channel. If there are any watches you'd like to see featured, please let us know in the comments below.